Today on Styrene Modeler's Haven, I learned the hard way it's time to throw away that old masking tape. I use automotive pinstripe masking tape on an airplane. Two-tone camo on military aircraft are some of the most iconic and a lot of fun to replicate in scale models. In building this 1/72nd Airfix Victor, I wanted to paint it in the iconic two-tone camo pattern of one of its tankers. The camo pattern calls for a hard edge against the two colors. The challenge arises in trying to create all those swirls and curls by masking it off and still maintaining a hard edge. I needed to use a masking tape that was flexible enough to be able to turn around all those different camo patterns and still be able to stick down to the surface without tearing. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself on this Victor. Let's go back and get the first color on this model. Starting with the lighter of the two colors, the RAFC gray, I need to lay out the camo pattern on the model so I have a guide to follow as I'm airbrushing. The simplest way I found to do this is to simply draw out the camo pattern with a pencil right on the model. Having already painted the bottom half of this model, I go ahead and mask that part off so I can protect it from the next steps. Using the kit instructions as a guide, I take my time and pencil out the entire camo scheme. If an adequate guide didn't come with your kit, you could always look up reference pictures as a guide on where the camo pattern should lay out. With everything looking the part, it's time to take this to the paint booth and start slinging some paint. With the paint thinned a little over 70% thinner to paint, I start slowly applying that color, gradually building up the opacity. I don't want to completely saturate this part of the camo with the paint. I still want a little bit of that pre-shading to show through, and I want to paint a little bit past the pencil lines, but still be able to see those pencil lines show through the paint for the next masking step. With the first color done, I go ahead and hit it with some gloss clear coat so I can seal it in and make sure I don't damage it as I'm doing the next coats and masking. Now it's time to mask off that RAFC gray so I can create a hard edge using a flexible masking tape. I started by using Tamiya's flexible masking tape that I had lying around. The tape is approximately 2 millimeters wide and it seemed like it was going to do the job. Everything was going well, but when I came back to the bench the next day, I saw that some of the tape had lifted. It also didn't do a great job of getting around some of the tighter corners. This tape was too old and a little bit too wide, so I needed to find a better solution. Enter automotive pinstripe masking tape. Found a 6-roll pack online that went from 1 millimeter width all the way up to 4 millimeter width. Not only was this tape new so it would stick down better, but it also had a little bit more flex and stretch to it than the Tamiya tape. This would allow it to go around those tighter corners without pulling up again. I pretty much used the 1 millimeter size throughout this entire masking process. The 1 millimeter tape had no problem sticking down and getting around even the tightest swirls and curls around the previous paint that I had laid down on the model. After a few sessions at the bench, going around and masking off the entire model and getting a hard edge along the previous color, I was now ready to fill in the rest of the area from overspray. This was just a matter of using different widths of Tamiya tape and blue tape to fill in all the areas that I had previously painted. I had to get creative with this wider tape, cutting it into smaller shapes and getting it to stick down inside the tighter curves. The entire process took about a week, sitting at the bench an hour at a time here and there, but even over that week, the pinstripe tape never pulled up like the Tamiya tape did. Now, back at the paint booth, it was just a matter of applying the second color. With thinned paint, usually over 50% thinner to paint, and a steady hand, I just kept the paint inside the lines without going too far over. Satisfied with the results so far, now it was time for my favorite part of modeling, demasking. The previous gloss clear coat helped keep any of the previous paintwork that I had done from peeling up by sealing it in as I removed the masking tape. And again, with a steady hand and a little bit of patience, I was able to remove all the masking tape without damaging any of the paint. And there we have it. By using a product designed originally for the automotive market, you can get nice hard edge camo lines and still be able to keep those tight swirls and curls on some of those more complicated camo schemes. I left a link in the description of where I got this masking tape, and if you click on that link and make a purchase, I get paid a small commission at no cost to you. Thank you. I hope you found this technique inspirational and helpful for your next build. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, so you can be updated on my latest content. Was there a tool or product in this video that you'd like to get your hands on? Well, we can help each other out. You can find links of products down in the description, and if you click those links and make a purchase, I get paid a small commission at no cost to you. Thank you. Did you know I have an eBay store where I sell new and vintage model kits? Check out my ever-changing inventory of model kits, and you can get 10% off by using the code YouTube10 at checkout. Click the link to watch another how-to video on how to do seamless intakes without sanding. Thanks for watching.